SpaceX is in final preparations for the debut launch of the final variant of its powerhouse Falcon 9 rocket, the Block 5, which will continue to further SpaceX's already realized goal of providing low-cost, affordable access to space for countries that have not been able to afford such missions before. The mission will launch from LC-39A at the Kennedy Space Center, Florida, and loft Bangladesh's first satellite Bangabandhu-1 to Geostationary Transfer Orbit. Thursday's attempt was scrubbed, moving the Block 5's debut to Friday. Low-cost, reliable access to space. The launch of Bangabandhu-1 on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket is not only notable because it is the first satellite of Bangladesh but also because of what it represents for SpaceX's stated goal of reducing the cost of access to space, thereby allowing nations that have not been previously able to afford space programs access to such opportunities. Part of SpaceX's goal is not just the highly publicized eventual colonization of Mars but the proliferation of access to space in general, regardless of nation, geopolitics, and economic development status. With the launch of Bangabandhu-1, SpaceX will now have launched the first wholly owned satellites for 3 developing nations, 2 of those in just the last 11 months alone, with the prior ones being Turkmenistan's Turkmenalim satellite in April 2015 and Bulgaria's Bulgariasat-1 in June 2017. Impressively, Bangladesh was able to afford its satellite and launch contract with SpaceX before meeting the eligibility requirements for developing country status by the United Nations, a status it only achieved 2 months ago on the 17th of March 2018. Bangabandhu-1 and Geostationary Orbit. Credit: Thales Alenia Space. Prior to obtaining developing country status, Bangladesh was considered a least developed country by the UN based on its economic ability. The fact that a least developed country was able to afford the cost of a satellite and launch campaign speaks to the enormity of how SpaceX has changed the launch market with its incredibly low-cost and reliable Falcon 9, which comes in at a baseline, brand-new first-stage price of just $62 million USD, according to the company's website. SpaceX has also enabled Taiwan to launch its first indigenously built satellite, FORMOSAT-5, into orbit last year and also permitted the Luxembourg government to launch its first military satellite, GOVSAT-1, earlier this year as part of the country's NATO obligations, with the low price point of the Falcon 9 stated as a direct reason for the mission's economic affordability. SpaceX's overall mission record to date shows a steady, reliable, and building track record of small nations coming to SpaceX and the Falcon 9 for their launch needs, and the same is true for corporations in the U.S. government, with SpaceX securing numerous launch contracts from SES and clandestine missions for the U.S. government. With Block 5, that track record is very likely to not only continue but to expand as well, as one of the stated goals of offering discounted flight rates with flight-proven, reused Falcon 9s will come to much larger fruition than it already has with the cadre of boosters that have been reflown to date. The first Block 5 Falcon 9 ascends into the Florida sky with Bangabandhu-1 for Bangladesh. Credit: Nathan Koga for NSF-L2. Moreover, in February, Elon Musk, founder, CEO and lead designer for SpaceX, stated that the company's Falcon Heavy rocket, which flew for the first time in February and is slated to make its second flight in the October 2018 period, via a report by Dana Hull with Bloomberg, will now only fly with Block 5 boosters and second stages. Amazingly, the Heavy's overall cost, if all 3 first-stage cores are flight-proven and its payload fairing is reused, could drop to the same price as a brand-new Falcon 9. A super heavy lift vehicle for the international community, clocking in at a price point of under $100 million USD, is already an incredible achievement. The Falcon Heavy's base price, with all brand-new stages, is already just $90 million USD, and Elon's statement regarding a fully reusable Falcon Heavy price point provides some indication of the potential reduction in cost the Block 5 upgrade brings to the launch market. Bangabandhu-1 launch and overview for its debut flight, the first completely Block 5 Falcon 9, both the first and second stages are Block 5 iterations, will be tasked with taking the Bangabandhu-1 satellite into Geostationary Transfer Orbit (GTO). Liftoff was targeted for 16:12 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, 2012 Coordinated Universal Time, on Thursday, the 10th of May. The opening of a 2 hours 10 minutes launch window that closes at 18:22 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, 22:22 Coordinated Universal Time. However, SpaceX noted the target T0 had moved into the window by 30 minutes, to 16:42 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, 2042 Coordinated Universal Time. It then moved again to 17:47 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, near the end of the window. The countdown was proceeding to plan until T58 seconds when the flight computer issued an abort. Given this was late in the window, not enough time was allowed for engineers to pinpoint the issue in time to pick up the count. The next attempt will take place on Friday. However, with a near-full countdown, the new procedures with Falcon 9 Block 5 were observed. Unlike all SpaceX missions in 2017 and 2018, the pre-flight fueling sequence is very different. At T-38 minutes, the SpaceX launch director verified that all was ready for the start of propellant loading. RP-1, rocket-grade kerosene, began flowing into the Falcon 9 first and second stages at T-35 minutes. The first Block 5 Falcon 9 climbs the ramp-up LC-39A at the Kennedy Space Center ahead of its static fire test. Credit: SpaceX. Fueling of densified LOX, liquid oxygen, into the first stage also began at T-35 minutes. At T-16 minutes, fueling of the second stage with LOX commenced. The engine start sequence is the same, with the engine controller commanding ignition sequence start at T3 secs. Once Falcon 9 is away, the first stage will burn for 2 minutes 31 secs before all 9 Merlin 1D engines shut down in preparation for stage separation at T2 minutes 33 secs. Second stage's MVAC engine, a vacuum-optimized Merlin 1D, will ignite at T2 minutes 36 secs to take the Bangabandhu-1 satellite to its initial orbit. The first stage will coast upward from its shutdown point before beginning its descent toward the Of Course I Still Love You drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. The first stage will perform its entry burn at T6 minutes 15 secs ahead of an anticipated landing on Of Course I Still Love You 8 minutes 10 secs after launch. A Falcon 9 first stage in the final second of its descent to a landing on the ASDS drone ship. Credit: SpaceX. The second stage will reach its initial Earth orbit 8 minutes 19 secs after launch, with the MVAC engine shutting down for a 19 minutes 19 seconds coast. The second stage will reignite at T27 minutes 38 secs for a 59-second burn that will place Bangabandhu-1 into a GTO insertion trajectory. Bangabandhu-1 will separate from the top of the Falcon 9 at 33 minutes 38 secs after launch. With a scrub called on Thursday, a backup launch opportunity is available to SpaceX on Friday, the 11th of May from 16:14 to 18:21 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, 2014 to 22:21 Coordinated Universal Time. Bangabandhu-1 is a communications satellite and is named after Bangladesh's founding father, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. It was designed and built by Thales Alenia Space with a lifetime service design of at least 15 years. The communications satellite weighs 3,500 kilograms, 7,700 pounds, is capable of generating 6 kilowatts of power, and carries 14 C-band and 26 Ku-band transponders with a 1,600 MHz capacity. Its final orbital destination will be in geostationary orbit (GEO) in the 119.1 degrees east longitude geostationary slot. Bangabandhu-1 will have a primary service area encompassing Bangladesh and the surrounding region and will offer Ku-band coverage over Bangladesh and its territorial waters in the Bay of Bengal, as well as India, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, the Philippines, and Indonesia. It will also provide C-band capacity for the entire region and will also enable broadband connectivity to rural areas throughout the Bangladesh. 39 Falcon 9 reusability. SpaceX